And now, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, joining us. Let us give him a round of applause. Welcome, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, to lead us into this official opening of this conference, Health Workforce Curriculum Conference 2022. Tumpigie makofi tena Mheshimiwa Rais. May I request that we remain standing as we take our positions to remain standing for the Kenya National Anthem and the East African Anthem. Request that we remain standing as I invite the opening prayers from Mahmoud Sheba, Imam Shibu Mosque here in Mombasa.
Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Ya Allah, we are here to witness the occasion of the official opening of these important, what you can say, health delegates from all over the world. Various countries are around here. And we have our President, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, to grace the occasion. We are so happy. We pray for him and his government to continue leading us as Kenyans and to make us very happy. And for the visitors, you're most welcome in Kenya. Karibuni sana. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, kindly be seated. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, the Chair, Council of Governors, and all governors present, and elected leaders present, heads of the delegation region, and all other parts of the world, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors and the heads of missions present, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, with your gracious permission, allow me to invite the governor of the great Mombasa County to make welcoming remarks atukaribishe nyumbani. Welcome, Bwana Governor.
Asante sana, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya. Allow me, first of all, to recognize the presence of my colleagues from other counties. Your Excellency, with us today we have Governor Anyang' Nyong'o from Kisumu County, Governor Rasanga from Siaya County, Governor Fahim Twaha from Lamu County, Governor Kahiga Mutahi from Nyeri County, Governor Cyprian Awiti from Homa Bay County, Governor Mwangi Wairia from Murang'a County, Governor Wycliffe Wangamati from Bungoma County, Governor Tunai, the custodian of Masai Mara from Narok County. Your Excellency, I have a very simple duty today. What normally is defined as welcoming remarks. So on my own behalf and that of the people of Mombasa and the county government of Mombasa, let me take this opportunity to welcome you all to the county of Mombasa and also pass our appreciation for having chosen Mombasa for this important meeting that charts the clear path on where we want to go as a people on matters healthcare. Your Excellency, your government, in partnership with many county governments, have put in tremendous effort in transforming healthcare in Kenya. We have improved our infrastructure, we have improved on the technology, equipment, and I am glad that we are having this meaningful conversation on how we'll ensure that we create means of sustainable human capacity improvement. You could have equipment, but if you don't train your people to the standards that the world demands today, then there's a big likelihood that we will not succeed. So, Your Excellency, I want to encourage you that you are on the right trajectory on matters health. And also, allow me to thank the Ministry of Health, particularly my brother Mutahi Kagwe. He's one minister who always answers our call. Whenever we call on him, he responds, and we don't take that for granted. Your Excellency, we have created really positive synergy, because ordinarily at some point people would have argued health is purely default function. But like it is rightly stated in the Constitution, governments or two levels of governments must be able to complement each other. And as I stand here today, I want to witness that our partnership with the national government has worked really well. Mombasa has started receiving what is defined as medical tourism here. People come for treatment. And I'm hoping you'll find time to visit some of our facilities that we have. Otherwise, I don't have much to say. Apotosha. Apotosha. Allow me, Your Excellency, for 1 minute to invite my chairman, Governor Wambora, he had come with a huge speech. I told him, shelve it. Wewe ni mtu ya mara moja, ongea mara moja tu tumalize.
Thank you very much, my colleague, Governor, our host. My speeches take only 1 or 2 minutes, so there's no fear. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, all protocols observed, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 47 county governments, I'm delighted and honored to be part of this conference. It has indeed come at an opportune time when we need to fast-track reforms in the training of the health professionals. We have made progress in health sector, care service delivery since the onset of devolution. On the other hand, our citizens are appreciating devolution works. On the other hand, the provision of quality health care services cannot be realized instantly in every county. Hence, it is our responsibility as the leadership of the country to make sure that every Kenyan citizen enjoys the highest quality standard of health care. For county governments, health remains a high priority in our development agenda. I therefore want to take this opportunity to thank the conference organizers for organizing a very important conference which aims at harmonizing the curriculum and training of health and care professionals. The expected benefits: 1, enhancement of skills of our health professionals. 2, eventual realization of the universal health coverage agenda. 3, quality and adequate training of our health professionals. 4, equipping health professionals and workers with the necessary skills to meet workplace challenges by equipping them with a new complement of competencies, aptitude, and tools to address the way forward. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, let me briefly address the way forward in the face of thriving challenges facing health professionals and health workers. 1, efforts to scale up healthcare professionals' education must not only increase the quantity of health workers, but also address issues of quality and relevance. Across Aruka, the counties, they continue to experience an imbalance in skills mix of health professionals. 2, Health personnel must be lifelong learners, able to adapt to rapidly changing environment and keep abreast of the latest scientific and technological advances. The health personnel must also be change agents and have the ability to use the latest technology. The county governments shall incorporate and cooperate with the health trainers as necessary. In conclusion, therefore, I want to express my sincere gratitude once again to the conference organizers for working closely with the county government through the Council of Governors to plan for this conference. The expected outcome of this international conference will definitely attract strong political commitment towards regular and structured mechanisms for better collaboration between the national and county governments and other stakeholders with the intent to improve healthcare professionals' education. I thank you for listening to me. God bless you. Asante sana.
Thank you, Governor Wambura, for that wonderful speech. Your Excellency, it is now my duty and great honor to invite Dr. Gosi Letlape to give us some highlights of the conference for just a few minutes before we continue.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic, distinguished guests, all protocol observed. I would like to thank our Kenyan colleagues at all levels for having made this conference possible and having invited us. This is the first conference that I attend internationally post-COVID. And what COVID has shown us is that our health systems are near collapse, and they need to be rebuilt. What we will also remember about COVID is George Floyd, with Chauvin having his knee on his neck. And in health, George Floyd represents the ordinary citizens in the continent. Chauvin and his knee represents all of us in this marquee, the regulators, the university people, the lawmakers. We make laws and we build health systems that we are not prepared to use for ourselves. When we get sick, we get flown out. We, the healthcare leaders, we, the politicians, we get flown out. And that is what COVID has underlined. So we hope this conference will begin to bring us to the right path. Firstly, we need to define the future that we speak of. I hope we will not be building systems for the past. We're going to build systems that we will go to for our own healthcare, so that we do not have to fly out and we use the cadres that we define for the ordinary people. In my country, if you're ordinary and you have a brain tumor, you'll be seen by a community health worker. If you're affluent and you have a hangover, you'll be seen by a neurosurgeon with a physician in attendance. And that needs to change. Our continent is characterized by a subconscious manifestation of self-hate. And we need to love ourselves. So whatever cadres we trade, we must trade for our own personal health care. It can no longer be the lowly for the low, because then we have assumed the mantle of being the colonizers of our own people. If there's an area that exposes that Africa is not free, it's in our health systems. Apartheid is apparent. We have colloquials, Mr. President, where when we talk about the communities, we're not talking about ourselves. When we're talking about public health, we're not talking about ourselves. We're talking about private health for us, or medical tourism, whether it's in Russia or it's in India. It is time we build systems that we will use. You know, in my culture, there's a norm that when you've set a table, you eat first. As we set this health table, we should go there for our own health care. I was saddened in 2009 when a young colleague in a regional hospital was stabbed by a mentally disturbed patient in a public hospital. And there were frantic attempts, Mr. President, to rush him to a private setting, and he died in the process. So he was in a teaching hospital that takes interns that could not manage a stab wound. That's what we have created. And I say to you, colleagues across disciplines, let us restore professionalism. Let us tell those that say we are lesser people by asking us to shift tasks, that is our past, but that is not our future. There will be restoration of professionalism so that we can build healthcare teams that will be able to take even our heads of state. I'm heartened, Mr. President, that you are wearing a Cuban shirt. And I will leave you with the example of Fidel Castro, who built a healthcare system that he used. When he got colon cancer, he wasn't flown out of Cuba. He stayed in Cuba. He went to the same facilities that ordinary people go to. He shared hospital bed with ordinary people. He lived for an extra 10 years from the treatment given to him by his people. If he flew to the States, he would have got expensive treatment. There would have been a bill of over $1 million, and he would have to be his remains would have had to be repatriated to Cuba at a greater cost than the cost of taking him for treatment. It is time, Mr. President, that the medical profession leads. It is time that we ask for resources. In the previous session, we spoke about producing quality healthcare so that it can be exported internationally. We now need to train for our own needs. As we train people that are internationally marketable and recognized, we have a duty to ensure that home is an enabling environment for them to practice their profession. God has endowed us with a beautiful continent, beautiful weather. Why should, after the training, at the tax expense of the worker in Africa, should I go and serve a white community in cold Canada? Thank you, Mr. President. I hope we will stop talking and we'll have an action plan where, in memory of George Floyd, it is not Black Lives Matter. It is all lives matter.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kosi Letlape. Your Excellency, now I welcome you to view a video on a statement by the Director General, World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros. To the videos.
Your Excellency, President Uhuru Kenyatta, President of Kenya, Honorable Mutahi Kagwe, Cabinet Secretary for Health, Honorable George Magoha, Cabinet Secretary for Education, Excellencies, dear colleagues and friends, Jambo, thank you for the invitation to speak to you today. And I'm sorry I can't be with you in person. I offer my deep admiration and respect to all of Kenya's health and care workers for their tireless service and sacrifice, especially in the past 2 years of the pandemic. And I offer my deep commitment that WHO will continue to support you in any way we can to suppress transmission, save lives, and to recover and rebuild. 4 years ago, I had the privilege of meeting President Kenyatta in Nairobi, shortly after he announced that affordable health care would be one of 4 pillars for his second term in office. He asked me to help his government to identify the best financing model to achieve his vision. Less than 12 months later, I had the honor of joining President Kenyatta in Kisumu to launch Kenya's pilot project on universal health coverage. COVID-19 is a powerful demonstration of the importance of health and care workers as part of every country's journey toward this universal health coverage and for health security. The pandemic demonstrates how critical health workers are and why they need the investment, the decent jobs, and the most up-to-date information, competencies, and tools to keep their communities healthy and safe. Ensuring a fit-for-purpose health workforce is not just a matter of the number of health workers, but ensuring they have the education, training, lifelong learning, and the equipment they need to do their jobs safely. That means curriculum updates and a competency-based education model that's aligned with the health needs of populations. The ministry's ongoing health labor market assessment will provide important evidence for this work, and WHO is committed to supporting you at all 3 levels. In the coming months, WHO will publish new evidence and guidance on competency-based education to support your national dialogue. Last year, we also broke ground on the WHO Academy, which aims to transform lifelong learning for health impact globally. Using state-of-the-art learning technologies and advancements in learning science, the Academy will expand worldwide access to the highest quality learning for health workers around the world. It will deliver multilingual, personalized learning programs in digital, in-person, and blended formats, and it will go beyond the transfer of knowledge to building the competencies of millions of people, including health workers, managers, educators, ministries of health. Mr. President, Excellencies, last month, WHO held its executive board meeting, chaired by one of Kenya's finest, Dr. Patrick Amoth. Patrick, thank you for your leadership. In my opening address to that meeting, I set out the challenges the world faces: disruption to essential health services, the urgent need to roll out vaccination against COVID-19, especially in Africa, and the impact of the pandemic on progress toward this universal health coverage. Addressing these challenges requires a well-trained and properly supported health workforce. The pandemic has reminded all of us that there is no health without health workers. Health and care workers have done so much to protect us. Now, we must protect them. I thank you. Asante sana.
Asante sana. Your Excellency, it is now my privilege and great honor to invite the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Senator Honorable Mutahi Kagwe, to make his address and also invite you to address the gathering.
Your Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, colleagues in cabinet, colleagues in leadership, ladies and gentlemen. First, Your Excellency, before I make any remarks, I want to confirm that this meeting here today is shared by 2 institutions within your I would therefore like to yield to my elder brother, the Honorable C.S. Magoha, to first say a few words before I make my own remarks.
Klapi was just addressed you, and I was also succeeded by the current chair of the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council, Dr. Ivan Jenga. So allow me to address myself in those two capacities very quickly, that what we are doing here from the medical practitioner's point of view has already been in place, especially in the East African region. As chair of the board then, we worked with all the East African community countries and regulated their hospitals and medical practitioners to the extent that their curricula were more or less streamlined. But what is more important now from the Kenyan perspective is that His Excellency saw some worth in me, and I was brought to look after primary and secondary education. And I can now see the link between the competency-based curriculum and CBET to what we are doing at the university level. And therefore, I hope that as you address issues in this conference, you will tease out, because I have now known that you can start teaching a child in primary school about the beating heart. You don't have to wait until that child goes to secondary school. And therefore, it's going to be very interesting to start interesting children in medicine, in pharmacy, as they start mixing substances in primary school. And therefore, those who still do not believe that competency-based curriculum is real, I am told that my colleagues in Amkoa, with where I was president for a while, are all here. This competency-based curriculum is working in many African countries. And let us not politicize it and support His Excellency the President's drive that we move forward in that direction. To Your Excellency the President, I want to confirm that you have led our country. You have put out health issues first. It is just unfortunate that our people do not recognize the successes that they have had. COVID has ravaged many developed countries. As I speak to you, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, COVID has not even killed 6,000 people in this continent. It is not by accident. It is because of our healthcare facilities. So we must also start, as my colleague says, that we should accept what is African. Let us first of all clap for ourselves for having systems that work. And since it is not my day, Your Excellency, I want to leave it there just by ending by saying that we also recognize the First Lady for the work that she has done, especially for the Linda Mama phenomenon. Whether anybody likes it or not, Your Excellency, you shall be remembered, because universal health care is one of your pillars. And what you have done can be measured. Forget about the raw toxic politics. We don't belong there. When you are not there, it shall be recorded that this is what you have done, and we have made strides. Just to end and say that over the past 15 years or so, even for universities teaching medicine, we have gone up 500%. And therefore, there is need to further harmonize the curriculum. Thank you very much, my brother, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much, my brother, C.S. Magoha. Your Excellency, I want first to start to appreciate that this day has come as a result of a lot of hard work and cooperation that has been done not just nationally, but also internationally. I want to take this opportunity to say a special thank you to the team from the Ministry of Health that has made this day possible. In that regard, Your Excellency, we had a huge task force led by, co-chaired by Kas Mwangangi, and Eva Jenga. Between the two of them, they shared a big team that we at the Ministry of Health, myself, the PS, the DG, all supported to make sure that it is working. And a special mention also to Yumbia, who was KYM, as he likes to call himself, KYM for the team. Your Excellency, I want first to recognize also the presence of very important partners who we work with all the time, because without their support, we would not actually be successful in the area of health. I want to recognize the presence of my friend and brother Atwoli. Karibu sana, Secretary General Wakotu, kwa sababu he is a key supporter of the Ministry of Health, and his workers are the ones we work for. He represents them, and I keep on teasing him that I represent them as well. Only he gets paid by them, I don't. So, karibu sana, Bwana Atwoli. I also want to recognize, Your Excellency, the presence of two persons in this hall who are also very, very key to our success. One of them is the Honorable Sabina Chege. I don't know whether Sabina Chege is here. The Honorable Sabina Chege, who is the chair of the Health Committee of the National Assembly, and the Honorable Bito. I don't know whether Bito is here. You are representing him. Yes, who is the chair of the Health Committee of the Senate. It is through the committees that are represented by those two individuals here, Your Excellency, that we managed to pass the National Health Insurance Fund. And that is the key. It is one of the key pillars as far as universal health coverage is concerned. But today, sir, we are here to look at another subject, which is part of the three things within the UHC agenda. The first being affordable health care, the second being access to health, which we have been talking about, and through your political will, we have managed to create almost 25 hospitals in Nairobi, 19 new, 5 engineered and completed, and another 50 that we are building across the country to create the issue, to address the matter of access to health. But critically is the standards of health, not just the quantity of health, but also the quality, of health. And today, sir, this is the subject that brings us here together. We work on this subject with a lot of other partners who are here. We work with USAID. We work with the British High Commission. We work with other development partners who are represented here, World Health Organization, the World Bank, and other institutions that are represented here to ensure that we can upgrade the quality of healthcare. Your Excellency, when we talk about the curriculum, improving our curriculum, we are reminded of an African saying that says, when the sound of the drum beat changes, then the dancer must also adapt the step. Things have changed around us, Your Excellency. The world has moved on. In technology terms, the world has gone very far. We cannot afford to be left behind. We were left behind because of gunpowder as a continent. And I appreciate the remarks by my brother from South Africa. This time round, technology is one of the key aspects in terms of digital health and all the other aspects that we are going to address. We are going to ask ourselves many questions, sir. We are going to ask ourselves, is what we are learning today what we should be learning? Is what we are learning today what is being taught elsewhere in the world? Is what we are learning today sufficient for the future? And is what we are learning today equivalent or better than anything else they have out there on earth? Because God created the human body to be exactly the same. Whether it is in Greenland, whether it is in South America, South Africa, East Africa, whether it is in Asia, the human body is essentially the same. So the question, Your Excellency, that we are going to ask ourselves is, why should one body be treated better, have a better opportunity of being treated than another body? And we are convinced that the questions we are going to ask here and provide answers and debate throughout the next 3 days are going to be useful as far as learning how to deal with our future as well as our present is concerned. Your Excellency, you have led us from the front. You have given us everything that we would require. I want to say here and now that there is nothing we have asked for from Your Excellency that you have not said go ahead and do it. And to answer my brother from South Africa, and at the point of perhaps embarrassing my brother Joho, Governor Joho, Your Excellency, I arrived here 2 days ago, and when we went to PGH, Governor Joho was within the hospital, but I didn't see him when I came and I was asking where he is. He walked in a few minutes later and told me that he was actually observing his own father being treated with the new equipment at PGH. So what my brother is saying about our own enlightened self-interest, that we in leadership must provide what we ourselves can consume. And we must provide a standard that we know that we will not be shifting elsewhere. As you saw, Your Excellency, at the stand today from KU, Chair Olive explained to you that going forward, we do not need to go to India for treatment. We will do it here. But the question is, of course, whether we will have the caliber of persons, the doctors, the engineers, biomedical engineers that we need to ensure that not only do we treat Kenyans, but we also cater for those who may want to come to our country for treatment. Therefore, sir, without much ado, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you specifically for the support that you have given us, but also to thank everybody in this hall and those listening. 26 countries are represented here. Over 90 people who are in this hall come from other parts of the world, and we appreciate your presence here in Kenya. I know the governor did not invite you to tour, so I'm going to do it on his behalf. That don't plan to go home quickly, plan to stay in Mombasa for a little while. So, Your Excellency, it is now my distinguished pleasure to invite you to speak to Kenyans, Your Excellency, and to spell out the vision that you have, because really what we are implementing is your vision, is your agenda, and we are proud to be associated with it. Welcome, Your Excellency. Please stand up to welcome His Excellency.
Oh, sorry. Please be seated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Governor Joho, Governor of the County of Mombasa, who's hosting this conference, and your colleague governors, ministers present, all our gallant medical practitioners who are here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying how truly delighted I am to join you on this occasion, an occasion attended by so many distinguished professionals, men and women who have spent their careers charged with the wellness of the 25 nations represented here today. And also today we are privileged to be joined by policymakers, public thinkers from the entire spectrum of our nation's life as we reflect on the future of our medical training, while we host this first biannual conference on harmonization of curriculum for training of our health professionals. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 2 years, the world has been engulfed in a crisis occasioned by COVID-19, which has caused unprecedented disruptions across many sectors of our society. Arising from this pandemic, we know our medical professionals and healthcare workers across our country, our region, and the world over have had to bear unusually heavy burdens. Indeed, through the tireless efforts of our healthcare workers, the pandemic has largely been brought to the fore the pivotal role that you play in providing quality healthcare and contributing to the general well-being of our societies. Therefore, as nations of the world join the global quest to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal number 3 of ensuring healthy lives and promoting the well-being of all, we are challenged to reassess the training framework for those who bear the first level responsibility in the delivery of healthcare. In that regard, this conference could not have come at a better time. Indeed, it marks a turning point in our national quest to achieve universal health coverage. Each epoch of our nation has placed a unique set of demands on the skills and competencies needed in the workplace, which in turn has required us to reform and to recalibrate the content and architecture of the training we provide our healthcare workers. Today, I note with satisfaction that the conference will review key planks that can lead us closer to harmonization of the curriculum for health professionals training. And it is in this context that I invite you now to join me as we take stock and reflect and learn, and in particular, plan for the transformative changes that governments should adopt in the training curricula for healthcare professionals. I cannot overemphasize that this conference has the task of providing a trustworthy account of the quality of our healthcare training. That account must give us a picture of what has worked and what has not, and the reasons why. The primary purpose here is to tease out lessons learned as well as best practices. But more fundamentally, we must ask ourselves, given the lessons learned, what transformative changes should we adopt, and do we have mechanisms of ensuring that these changes are optimally implemented? I therefore would like to propose a 7-point framework to all of you participants today. And this framework can guide us in understanding our performance and charting the way forward. This 7-point framework that I am proposing includes, first, defining a framework for harmonization of training of healthcare professionals across the sector for increased global competitiveness and future job readiness. Under this theme, the conference should on one hand consider how we can leverage on regional frameworks to harmonize curriculum and training to support cross-border training and practice. In addition, the conference should identify the gaps in elementary teaching and learning which ought to be addressed to ensure that a solid foundation is established before healthcare workers undergo their academic and professional training. Moreover, the conference should consider how the capacity of tertiary education, technical and medical training institutions can be augmented to effectively deliver quality healthcare training. The second is determining strategies to strengthen generation and use of research, innovation, evidence, and technology to inform policy and practice for increased access to health services. Under this theme, the conference should consider how the adoption of innovative and technology-driven mechanisms that are educative and informative in training of healthcare professionals can bring our nation closer to the realization of this objective. The third is establishing strategies for health workforce optimization through planning and forecasting. The fourth is to provide a framework for reimagining entrepreneurship and innovation opportunities for the health workforce towards increasing absorption of the same. The fifth is defining effective mechanisms for cross-sectoral partnerships and collaborations towards re-engineering the health workforce. Sixth is formulating necessary policy and regulatory frameworks to support strengthened training, development, and deployment of health workers in line with changing health needs. The seventh, enhancing governance in cadre recognition, schemes of service, and scope of practice for improved health workforce management and retention. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I would like to state that I am persuaded that the consideration by this conference of this seven-point framework would enable us to deliver a trustworthy account of where we are on the overall quality of training for our health professionals. But more importantly, the questions will tease out lessons that will guide our future planning and herald a much-needed harmonization of training for all our healthcare professionals. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me say that we are all keenly looking forward to the outcomes of this conference, which I trust and believe will be useful to us as policymakers to be able to ensure that we are able to deliver, as our friend here has said, the kind of health care to our people that we ourselves would also seek to enjoy. And I do believe that here in Kenya we are making those strides. We may not yet fully be there, but we are definitely moving in the right direction. Talking to Olive Mugenda over at Kenyatta University, it is great satisfaction to hear that the recently opened molecular institution there at KU has now treated over 200 patients, almost 20 patients every day. Patients who would have been forced to travel to India for the same. It is even more satisfying to note that we are also receiving patients from across the region who are coming for that same service. Tomorrow we will be with Governor Joho, opening a similar institution here in Mombasa. If we just take those 200 patients alone, and assume the cost to India for treatment, upkeep is taken into account, even if we just take it at 2 million shillings, that's 400 million shillings that have been saved and a cost that is covered under the National Hospital Insurance Fund. That is saving direct to the pocket of ordinary men and women in this country. It is also heartening to note that in some of our hospitals today, private hospitals are referring their patients to some of the public hospitals because some of our public hospitals are even better equipped than some of the private hospitals that we have had. And what does all this investment mean? It means that if we continue to improve these services, we save this country money, we save our people money, which can be put to other use. We know how health has bankrupted many families, many families, because there is nothing you can do. But now we are beginning to provide those alternatives. And what we must make sure is that we have the caliber of professional health worker that is able, operating within the environment we are providing in upgrading our hospitals, that we have trained men and women who can utilize this equipment and provide the best healthcare systems comparable to any part in the world. And I'm sure we can. Because again, as our friend has said, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, they wouldn't be here trying to get our nurses to go and work in their hospitals if we were not producing good quality people. We are producing. What we need is to ensure that the skills they have are equivalent to the kind of technology, as Waziri has been saying here, that is available out there. And they in turn will be able to provide our people with the same level of service as they are capable of delivering out there. Kwa hivyo, wenzangu, jameni saa ingine muache kujipiga. Tumesonga. Na story ya watu huko kupepeta huko kwa mikutano kuongea mauongo huko haiwezi badilisha yale yamefanyika. Tunaelewana wenzangu? Let us remain focused. Let us remain focused. If there are things that are not right, that's why you're here. To help us, tell us, here we can do better, here we can do better, here we can do better. Lakini mambo ya kuongea maneno matuputupu huko hakuna kitu unafanya. Unaenda huko, huko, kazi haifanywi juu ya gari, inafanywa kwa maofisi, kwa mahospitali. Ama ni namna gani wenzangu? Kazi inafanywa huko hospitali. Nasa haendi huko kusimama kupiga mtu. Unajua mimi leo nimefanya, anaingia ICU, anaingia ward, anaingia theater. Nakwambia jameni, hii dunia yetu ya Kenya tutaona mengi. Lakini ni sawa tu. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, it is now my distinct honor and pleasure to declare this conference officially open, and I look forward very keenly to receiving the report of the outcome of your deliberations. Thank you, and God bless you all. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. Tumpigie Mheshimiwa makofi. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Let us give another round of applause to His Excellency the President. President. Thank you. May I request that we be seated for a while. Kindly let us take our seats as I invite the chair and the co-chair, Dr. Mercy Mwangangi, and your co-chair, to make a presentation to the President. Your Excellency, they are going to make a presentation of a gift. They are going to gift you because out of your tight schedule, you have found time to come to open this conference. Your Excellency, they are going to present you with a plaque. The plaque is showcasing the various projects and programs undertaken in delivering the universal health care in this country. Tumpigie makofi Mheshimiwa Rais tena. Making the presentation on behalf of the organizing committee is the chair and the co-chair. The chair, Dr. Mercy Mwangangi, who is the CAS, and Dr. Evelyn, who is the co-chair. Let us not tire. Another round of applause as they take that photo. Thank you. I request for 1 minute, Your Excellency, as we sit for 1 minute as I make this very special announcement for the photos which we are going to do out there. You'll be escorted by the protocol team, all the heads of the delegations who present, the conference committee chairs, and the AMCOA management committee, and the conference secretariat, all those committees to lead to where we are going to have a photo session. And at the same time, I've been asked to announce that lunch will be served at the main restaurant at the hotel. Your Excellency, with your 1 minute, that 1 minute as the policeman takes their position, it is the children who are making steps for the future, the Huruma Town kids with a medical display as we are on standby for the national anthem.
Bill, yank that sucker so we can get out of here.
No, the appendix hasn't burst. That's good news. Slippery little fellow.
Did you guys know this is my first surgery, Dr. Bell?
No kidding. We have to get a photo.
Get in, Chew.
That is totally inappropriate. Go back to your stations.
Oh, we're just having fun. He's out cold all night, huh?
Wait, I'm gonna take a quick selfie. Get closer together.
I wish we could do one without the mask.
Quick, let me chew. Just one more. I think we got it. I'm going to send this to my mother.
You get us off wire. Cameras on around the door.
He's waking up. I need to up the SIBO.
Oh my God. You did artery on an appendectomy?
You're losing blood fast. I need 2 liters of normal saline wide open. Call for 4 units of blood and 2 FFP stack. Give me your number.
I'm starting compression.
Let the training begin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Health Workers Conference 2022, repositioning today's health workforce for the future.
Let us give them a round of applause as we all stand up. Let us all be upstanding for the closing national anthem. Thank you. Now, His Excellency will leave at his own pleasure. And the rest of us who are proceeding to the photo session area, let us hasten our steps so that we can continue with the photo session. Thank you.
kila kitu. Hello. 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 Kwako mimi napenda kwako mimi napenda. Nimekuwa msanii. Ameka live. Oh. Chika kumbe. Napenda kila kitu kwako mimi napenda napenda. Which way? Which right? Asema. Sio kama hiyo. So nyinyi endeni muangalie kama huyo ya nini type usikie. Tunaenda sisi kutafuta nini huku, then we are going home. Holy coffee. Niko hii Faraja.
How are you?
I'm good.
Niache nitakushikia utaenda kule utanipata hapa.
No way. Hii nikikupa nimefutwa kazi.
Hautafuta kazi, sitaenda nayo.
Nakwambia hii nikikupa.
Which media station is this?
This is not media station. It's we have been contacted by Ministry of Health to work for them.
You are freelancers?
Yes. Na mimi sikupata maji.
Au kupata maji? Ya ukweli.
Seriously?
Naweza nikushikie upewe maji.
Hii siwezi kupa, yani haiwezi toka kwa hii mkono yangu. Ni mbali sana. Uko nyuma? Hapo hivyo tu. Hii naona ni mbali. Ngoja niangalie. Nakuja kwenda kuangalia. Asa, ngoja nakuja kuchukua. Yes, it's coming. Yes? Oh, good morning. It's afternoon already. Uko sawa? Niko sawa.
Kuna media center pale juu. You can come and chill when you want to rest. Then lunch inasaviwa kwa tent ya blue.
Kwa tent ya blue.
Sawa. So you guys can go for lunch.
Interview somewhere, naenda kucheck briefing. Natafanya briefing mali. Nikuhoji, nakuja.
Kwa na shida zangu. Umekuwa na mbili.
Ameniambia nitakucheck.
Sawa, acha akacheck basi. Yes.
Walinyonga internet.
Walinyonga lakini tukapambana hivyo hivyo.
Kama ni moja basi kuna nidia hii. Hata stream aje.
Hapana. Iko tu hapo tunaweza ongea chai.
Nimekataa. Sasa huko kimidel kwa watanipona. For now wewe deal na iko sipia atakuwa na
si iko sawa kila kitu.
Kwa amenipea kila kitu. Tuna record iko na kadi. Kati na record ni kadi.
Niko nazo. So kaza na wasaidia kwa nini kukata?
Sawa.
Kata hizo media kwa.
Ndio tuende tuna mwanzo kuweka tu na.
Tunachukua tripod moja mute.
Manze tripod nikiwete mzee.
Shida sana ndio kwa nini?
Ndio nataka ama jamaa
tuweke hapa. Kamera kidogo kwa kamera.
Sawa kupata.
So ni nani ana nini? Tunaitwa walimu na kitu. Kuna jina ndio hiyo. Urudie hapo. Kuna makutano, faraja na baraza.
Hiyo ni gani?
Hii ndio hii yetu hapa. Ndio hiyo sawa. Sasa nichi kwa makutano which are going to get.
Sasa hivi
mpaka mazogo.
bahari na baraza. Sasa jende bahari ama baraza.
Hiyo watu wako lunch bado. Wewe za break out sasa hivi. Beta mtu akuseta. Leo Record now from camera.
Network inazima sometimes.
Sasa unafiti nje ikio. Hizo breka zenyewe hazina AC. Paulo, shika. Paul, Paulo, do hivi. Hapa hivi kamera ziko. Hata press. Unaona hapa kamera. Pangeni. Hapa. Chukua kamera yako moja NX. Ya kwa
Kwenda na hata nipatia bila wewe.
Kuna kamera mbili hapo.
Kwenda nazo nasema kila.
Ndio kuna kitu. Ndio kuna kitu. Kwa kamera moja. Kamera moja. Unapokutumia moja. Si ndio unaona?
Sawa, hata nione.
Ndio agree.
Wakatana kama hapa.
Kwenda niambie. Hizo unatumia moja. Oh, breakers ni 4. Ama ngoja Ken come. Na kuna kamera 8. Haziwezi kuonyesha kamera 8 wapi? Kamera ni 7. Check, kamera ni 7. Kamera hii. Ndio kuna moja. Lakini ile inabaki na kidogo. Okay. Kamera yako iko?
Ndio hii.
Unaona ile ilikuwa huko ndio hii sasa.
Alright.
Ndio utakapokuwa kwa hapa sio hapa.
Basi ndio biasa vitu za hapa. Kwa la shamba. Sawa. Ndio biasa wamechukua kamera tu warudi
Such a pleasure to be taking part in this it's one of the biggest competitions since the pandemic because doing things
atarana mwale sawa. Nenda kuchukua weka hapo. Ile yenye natoa feed, wanatumia wireless. Ndio feed. Wakati yenye zinatoa feed wireless. Mbona unataka kufanya shortcut?
Wachana na hiyo.
Yaani za Mandela hiyo